That's what we are talking about. So when we begin to talk about democratically elected president, the first question we should ask ourselves, are we practicing democracy? Then if we ask ourselves again, we now come to ask, what are the tenets of democracy? Is it the kind of election we conducted in Nigeria, where governors were seen oppressing people, beating up people, throwing away ballot papers because election was not going to reflect a particular mindset of what they want? Is that what we call democracy? Ah, I think we need to rethink as Africans. This is France, who will walk into any of the Francophone colonies, take whatever they want. But go and see how people are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Malians are dying. Burkina Faso people are dying. Togolese people are dying. Just to struggle into a perceived greener pasture. From the same people who have made their life miserable, from the same people who have taken their peace, from the same people who have extorted them and exploited their ancestors. And the same people open their mouths to tell us that democracy is not respected in a place because democracy is what they decide to be democracy. Yes, military has their wars. I do agree. But again, we have also seen military government. If you look at governments who have made their mark in Africa, they were military. Yes, they were. I do not subscribe to it, but I'm only just trying to cite or rather make references. Before they purportedly killed Muammar Gaddafi, people who were staying and living in Libya told us what Gaddafi was doing for his people. And it is quick for them to say there was no freedom. Of course, Islamic rule, most times you do not live the life you want to live. It is a religious ordinance in most cases. It does not have anything to do with the government. In some cases too. In other cases, it could also be. But again, what were they being restricted from? Was it the basic necessity of life? Were they restricted from infrastructure? Were they restricted from the basic necessity of life? Were their hospital not working? What was their human development index? It was ranking almost the same with that of other Islamic nations like Kuwait, like Dubai, like Qatar. The Human Development Index. Go and check. Before they ruined Libya, and today Libya is a shadow of itself. Libya has become the most terroristic country that you can ever see, where there are no rules, where nothing happens. In fact, you are looking for a human being to buy, go to Libya, you will get. Whatever organ you are looking for, go to Libya, you will get, because it has become a country of the survival of the fittest. Now, people, I think it is very pertinent. We begin to look at these things very well and we begin to understand. Before I go, I want to ask, and I will be very happy if I get an answer from the comment section. And what are those questions? One, why is it that Africa has always been the global survivor of the globe? Yes. Why? During the realization of the Industrial Revolution, when America wanted to evolve industrially, Africa was the end point. That was what enacted the business of trade slave. I mean, slave trade, as the case may be. That was what enacted the business of the slave trade. A lot of Africans were taken away from their ancestral land. Their tongues were changed, their languages were changed, their identities were changed, and these were the people who suffered for the industrialization of the West, Europe and America put together. After the slave trade was abolished, because certain world power were no longer, it was no longer favoring certain world power, and they discovered that if we allow America to just continue in this voyage, before you know it, they will be on top and we will be down. And the people who felt they had powers at that time decided to go after the abolition of slave trade, which they did. And not because they did that because they realized that they were dehumanizing Africans. No, that was not the reason. That was not the reason why they decided to abolish the slave trade. They decided to abolish the slave trade for selfish reasons. Then after the slave trade, what happened? Colonization.